Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. So lately it seems like everyone's buzzing about AI and how it's going to revolutionize everything.
It really is amazing to see how quickly things are changing and the impact it's having.
Yeah, exactly. And today we're going to be diving into the world of AI tools specifically for digital marketing. There's just so much out there.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. And it just seems like every day there's something new. It's kind of overwhelming, isn't it?
Totally. You could definitely feel that way.
Like you've got Canva for design, ChatGPT if you want to do some writing, Allweber for emails. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
Seriously. It's like, how do you even know where to start? It's like you're at a buffet and you just want to pile everything onto your plate.
Exactly. And then you end up feeling sick because you've got way too much.
And that's kind of what we're seeing with these AI tools, right?
Yeah. Like each one by itself might be great. It can be really helpful for a specific task. But when you're trying to use like a whole bunch of these tools together, It can become a real problem.
A real headache.
Definitely. I think one of the biggest issues that people run into is just the sheer cost of it all. I mean, if you look at the price breakdown from this source we've got, popular marketing AI tools can cost over $285 per month.
Wow.
And that's a lot, especially if you're a smaller business or if you're just starting out.
Yeah, and it's not just about the money either, right? Like, think about all the time you spend just jumping between different platforms and trying to remember all those logins, figuring out how to use each tool. It's exhausting.
It's definitely a huge productivity killer because you're constantly having to switch gears instead of just focusing on the actual work.
For sure. And all that fragmentation makes it so hard to get a clear picture of how your marketing is actually doing overall.
That's right. Like all your data and all your workflows are scattered across all these different tools. So it's really difficult to analyze your performance or see what's working or spot trends, make strategic decisions.
Yeah, you're totally right.
It's like you're trying to solve a puzzle, but like half the pieces are missing.
So we've established that juggling all these different AI tools can be a real pain. But is there like a better way to do this?
Well, that's what's got me so excited. I think we might have found something really interesting.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, there's this platform called AI Supreme, and it claims to be a solution to this problem.
Okay, so AI Supreme, it's like this all-in-one platform.
Exactly.
And it's trying to solve all these challenges we've been talking about, the cost, the complexity, the fragmentation.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I'm excited to dive in.
Me too. And what's really fascinating about this is that it's part of this bigger trend. You know how we always talk about AI democratization?
Yes.
That's exactly what this is. It's about making AI more accessible and easier to use for everyone.
I love that. So, okay, let's talk about this AI Supreme a little bit more. The source claims it can replace over 25 different marketing tools, and you can manage it all from one single dashboard.
And no monthly fees. It's a one-time purchase.
Okay, wait, hold on. That sounds almost too good to be true.
I know. That's what I thought too, but we're going to dig into this and see what it's all about.
Okay, let's do it. So one of the things that really jumped out at me was the website creation feature.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
So AI Supreme, it offers over 50 templates for building websites.
And you don't need any coding knowledge.
No coding. That's amazing.
It's crazy, right? Like you don't have to be a web developer to build a website.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know you've been trying to build a website for your pottery business for a while now.
Oh, don't remind me.
But think about it. This could be huge for you. No more struggling with Wix or Shopify.
Oh, okay. See, now you've got my attention.
So that's just one feature, but there's so much more.
Let's hear it.
Let's talk about content creation. You know how much time and energy we spend on writing blog posts, ad copy, social media updates?
Ugh, don't get me started. It's a never-ending cycle.
It is. Well, AI Supreme claims it can generate content that's 100% human-like, and it's content that Google loves.
Okay, now that's a bold claim.
It is. And I'm always a little bit skeptical when a tool claims to be a magic bullet for content.
Right, there's no magic button.
But I can't deny that the potential time savings here could be huge. Imagine being able to create all that content without actually having to write it all yourself. You can focus on the strategy and the bigger picture.
That would be a game changer for sure. Free up so much time for other things.
Speaking of time savers, what about video? Video marketing is so important these days, but it can be a real pain to create professional-looking videos.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, AI Supreme apparently has video production capabilities as well. They've got over 50 video templates to help you get started.
So you don't need to be a pro within video or Adobe Premiere or any of those complicated editing software?
Nope. You can create marketing videos without having to learn all that stuff.
That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
So they got website creation, content creation, video production. Seems like they really have thought of everything. What about visuals, for social media posts and all your marketing materials?
We'll get this. They've got AI image generation too. Over 1,500 templates for creating graphics.
No way. So you wouldn't even need Canva or Midjourney anymore.
It seems like it. It's like this one-stop shop for everything you need to do marketing.
And to top it all off,
Yeah?
they say AI Supreme can also create sales funnels and landing pages, which is essential if you're trying to grow your business.
Seriously.
Seriously. So you can capture leads and nurture them through the sales process, all within the platform.
Wow. Okay, it sounds like they really are trying to be the ultimate all-in-one solution.
Right. It's pretty impressive how much they've managed to pack into a single platform.
Yeah.
But we have to remember, we haven't actually tested AI Supreme ourselves yet.
You're right. We're just going off the information that we have from this source.
Exactly. So yeah, always a good idea to do your own research before you jump into anything new.
For sure. But based on what we've seen so far, I think it's definitely worth looking into.
I agree. And if you're curious to learn more about how AI Supreme could help you streamline your marketing, be sure to check out the link in the episode description. There's some limited time bonuses there too.
Oh, sweet.
And don't forget to subscribe to Digitool Podcast for more deep dives into the world of digital tools and technology.
We'll be back soon with more. So before, we were talking about AI Supreme and how it's claiming to be that one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. And it's really fascinating how they're trying to solve that problem of having to juggle between all these different tools.
Yeah, and it's like they keep saying it can replace like 25 plus individual marketing tools. That's just mind-blowing.
I know, it's hard to wrap your head around.
We've already talked about websites and content and videos and even creating images, but they've got even more in there.
Oh, there's so much more. They talk about things like SEO tools and chatbots and voiceover generation. They even have interactive elements for websites.
It's almost like they sat down and brainstormed every single thing a marketer could possibly need.
It really does seem that way.
And this brings up a really important point about accessibility. I mean, the source keeps saying that AI Supreme is user-friendly, that it's designed for all skill levels.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a tech genius or know how to code or anything like that. Which is huge, because not everyone has the time or the resources to become an expert in all these different tools.
Exactly. That's what AI democratization is all about,
Ah.
making these tools available to anyone, no matter what their background is.
So, okay, let's say you're convinced, you're ready to give AI Supreme a try. What's the onboarding process like?
Well, it sounds like they've tried to make it as easy as possible. They talk about things like pre-built templates and drag-and-drop functionality, and they've got step-by-step tutorials to walk you through the whole thing.
So even if you've never used an AI marketing tool before, you can still figure it out.
That's the idea.
And speaking of getting started, they also say that AI Supreme can help you drive traffic to your offers without having to rely on those third-party platforms, which I'm really curious about. How do they do that? Well, it sounds like they've got some traffic generation features built right in, maybe using social media or content optimization or something like that. It would be interesting to see some actual data on how effective those methods are.
Yeah, for sure. But if it works, that's pretty amazing.
Especially for businesses that are struggling to get visibility.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the business side of things. If you're running a business, you're always looking for ways to save money, right?
Always.
And the source really emphasizes how much you could potentially save by using AI Supreme compared to subscribing to a bunch of different tools individually.
Oh, yeah, they do. They break it down. And it's pretty convincing from a financial standpoint. It makes sense. Instead of having all these different subscriptions and paying monthly fees for everything, you just have one solution that covers everything.
Right, and it simplifies things in terms of making decisions too. Instead of having to research and evaluate all these different tools, you can potentially find everything you need in one place.
Exactly. No more decision fatigue.
Exactly. But isn't there a potential downside to having so much packed into one platform?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, one concern I have is that it could become a bit bloated and difficult to navigate.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, it could feel really overwhelming, especially if you're new to it.
That's the balance they have to strike, trying to make it comprehensive, but also make sure that it's user-friendly and not too confusing.
Yeah, it's a tough balance.
But hey, if you want to check it out for yourself, you can find the link in the episode description, and there's some special bonuses for our listeners.
Nice. Okay, so, look, I know we're trying to be objective here, but I gotta say, I'm impressed by what I'm seeing. I think AI Supreme seems to be addressing a real need in the market. The potential benefits are pretty incredible, but I do think it's important to keep in mind that this source is promotional material.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're going to highlight the positives. So we need to take that into consideration as we're evaluating the information.
Definitely. Always good to remember that. I think it's important for everyone to do their own research, read reviews from other users, and maybe even try a free trial before you decide to commit to anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's no magic bullet.
Exactly. No magic bullet.
But I do think AI Supreme has the potential to be really useful for businesses of all sizes.
So we've talked a lot about the features and the potential benefits of AI Supreme, but let's take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture. What are the implications of this all-in-one approach to AI marketing?
Well, I think it goes back to this idea of AI democratization that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
The goal is to make it possible for anyone to succeed with online marketing, whether they have a lot of technical skills or a huge budget or not. And tools like AI Supreme could play a big role in making that happen.
Yeah, this source has a bunch of testimonials from users who say they've achieved some pretty incredible results. Like they've grown their businesses significantly, and they've saved thousands of dollars per month by switching to AI Supreme.
That's pretty amazing.
Of course, you always got to take testimonials with a grain of salt, but if even a fraction of those are true, it's pretty remarkable.
It is. It shows how AI could potentially level the playing field and give smaller businesses the tools they need to compete with those big companies.
Yeah, that's really exciting to think about. But before we move on, I just want to remind everybody that we haven't actually used AI Supreme ourselves.
Right.
We're analyzing the information that we have from this source.
Yeah.
It's always a good idea to do your own research and form your own conclusions.
Absolutely. And speaking of research, if you are interested in learning more, be sure to check out that link in the episode description for access to AI Supreme and those exclusive bonuses.
Don't miss out on this opportunity.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. We've talked about the struggles of using all these different tools and the potential benefits of an all-in-one solution like AI Supreme, and then even bigger picture, the implications of AI democratization. But there's one more thing I want to mention.
Okay.
The source makes this pretty bold claim about AI Supreme's ability to create content.
What kind of claim?
They say that it can create content that's basically indistinguishable from human written text.
Wow.
Yeah, and they even go so far as to say it's content that Google loves.
Okay, so this brings up some really interesting questions about the role of AI in content creation. Like, can AI actually replicate human creativity and writing style?
Right, and what are the ethical considerations involved in all of this?
Yeah, because we're starting to see these questions play out in the real world as AI content generation tools become more sophisticated and more widely available.
And it's definitely something that we're going to keep talking about on future episodes.
Well, absolutely.
This is an evolving landscape, and it's important to stay informed about what's happening and to think critically about the potential impact of all of this.
So before we wrap up, I just want to remind everyone again that you can find a link to AI Supreme and those exclusive bonuses in the episode description. If you're looking for a way to streamline your marketing and maybe save some money, it's definitely worth checking out. Okay, so we've spent a good chunk of time now talking about AI Supreme and all the cool stuff it can do. But let's kind of zoom out for a second, look at the bigger picture. Even if you decide that AI Supreme's not for you right now, there are some important takeaways from all of this that I think apply to anyone using AI for their marketing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like this whole conversation about how tough it is to manage all these different tools and how we're all kind of craving that simpler solution. That's something everyone's dealing with, whether they're using AI Supreme or any other mix of tools out there.
You're so right. This deep dive has honestly made me think differently about how I approach using AI in my own work.
Me too.
It's not about just chasing the newest, shiniest tool. It's about finding that system that actually works for you. Helps you get things done without adding a bunch of stress to your life.
And that's where that whole idea of AI democratization comes in, right?
Exactly.
It's about empowering everyone, not just the tech wizards or those people with tons of money to spend.
For sure.
AI has this crazy potential to change the way we work and create, but only if everyone can actually use it.
I think what really blows my mind is that we're just at the beginning of all this. You
Yeah.
know? Like, who knows what kind of insane tools we'll have in a few years. It's crazy to think about.
I know, it's really exciting. And it'll be fascinating to watch it all unfold. But one thing's for sure. We got to be smart about this. We got to approach AI with a critical eye, understanding what it can do and also what it can't do.
Absolutely. It's not a magic fix for everything, but it is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And if we use it right, we can achieve some pretty amazing things.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI marketing, I want to leave you with something to think about. Could a platform like AI Supreme, or even just the whole idea behind it, be the key to making marketing more efficient and more effective for everyone? Something to ponder.
It's a great question for sure. And if you're interested in exploring AI Supreme yourself and seeing if it lives up to the hype, remember to check out that link in the episode description. We've got some exclusive bonuses there just for our awesome listeners.
And if you want to keep exploring these kinds of fascinating topics, make sure you subscribe to Digital Podcast. That way you won't miss any of our deep dives. We'll be back soon with more insights into the world of digital tools and technology.
Until then, keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. See ya in the next episode.